single step forward in border management that we have seen probably ever. And it is a step that is based around our commitment to digital transformation. What you see before you in terms of the devices that we will showcase a little bit later is concrete proof of the fruits that follow when we commit ourselves to using technology in smarter and more effective ways. We have really said right from the start that using technology is the only way that we are going to make up for shortfalls, whether those shortfalls be financial, whether those shortfalls be in terms of human resources. And today we are going to demonstrate to you what we mean by that. And we are going to, I believe, send a very clear message about the capabilities of the Border Management Authority as a law enforcement entity and about the huge progress we are making in securing the border environment. So we will get to the fun part a little bit later. Before we demonstrate the technology, the Commissioner will take us through the operational plan for Easter, where these tools will now be deployed for the very first time. And we will see the fruits of the deployment of these devices at that point. Now, we have already piloted some of this technology that we are showcasing today. And I'd like to start with the unmanned aerial vehicles, or the drones. So what we did over the December period was to cooperate with the Department of Agriculture, Land Reform and Rural Development to pilot the use of these devices and measure the impact that they have in the port environment and in enhancing the capability of government to prevent, detect and deter illegal crossings into South Africa. A few months ago, I stood at this podium and we announced the data that came out of those operations. What we saw was a 215% increase in the number of attempted illegal crossings by undocumented persons that were prevented. And we even were able to showcase thousands of instances where the use of these drones actually led to apprehensions directly. In other words, they enabled the detection of someone trying to cross the borderline, the deployment of BMA officials and resources, and then the arrest and direct deportation of those individuals. So what we were able to do in December was to prove that the concept works. We were in 5 different port environments with our partners from agriculture, and that was a very valuable opportunity for us to actually demonstrate the value of this approach. But today, I would say to you, ladies and gentlemen, and fellow South Africans, is at a whole different level. Because what we are announcing today, first of all, is the Border Management Authority's deployment of its own drone technology. And the device that we have on display here is one of 4 of these devices that will be deployed for the first time as part of the Easter operational plan. I want to say to you that they say dynamite comes in small packages. Do not be deceived by the size of this drone. I think it is one of the most advanced that you will find in the country at the moment. These drones will now be deployed, as I say, at these 4 different border posts. But it's important to emphasize that they will be moving around. So there are 4 of these devices. But as soon as the Border Management Authority receives indications that they are needed at other ports of entry, they will be moved to go and work all across the country at all ports of entry. I'm very excited to also be able to share with you that we are investing in our people. The Border Management Authority, through this project, is showing that it's not only about the technology, it is about the human resources and the culture shift that goes with that if you are going to use these tools to maximum advantage. That is why we are training 8 drone pilots. There will be 2 per device, and they will work in shifts to make sure that we have around-the-clock usage and detection in the port environment. It will be a very intensive training program. There will be weeks of in-class training. There will also be in-field training to make sure that we have the best people operating these devices. The other good news is that the partnership with agriculture has been so successful that we are extending it. And I want to thank the Minister, the Department in that regard, to make sure that we are actually augmenting our capacity. In other words, for this Easter season, not only will the BMA be deploying the 4 highly advanced drones that it now possesses, but we will have 5 more of these devices being operated by our partners in the Department of Agriculture. And I think that again demonstrates to us the power of the whole of government approach. So indeed, firstly, on the drone side of things, this is a revolution in border management, ladies and gentlemen. And I think it's important to highlight some of the capabilities of these devices so that we can all understand what they actually enable us to do, how they are going to revolutionize our ability to secure our country's borders. So there are 2 models that will be rolled out. So there's 2 of each. The first one is called the Evo Max 4N, and then there's also the Evo Max 4T. They have slightly different capabilities. The 4N is more suited for daytime operations, although it does also have the night capabilities. But I think the 4T is really going to be eyes in the sky for the BMA whenever it needs to, including at nighttime. So to give you a sense of the capabilities, and I want this to also be a very clear message to people who think about entering this country illegally. Listen to what we can now do for the very first time. In terms of the capabilities, these drones launch within 15 seconds. If there's any indication that they are, or if there's a disturbance, they will be in the air immediately. They have thermal vision detection. So you cannot hide behind a tree, you cannot hide behind a bush. It will pick up your body heat and it will see you moving and trying to enter this country illegally. It has long-range zoom that can see up to 1.24 miles into the distance. And of course, it has a very advanced camera that is able to record and detect movements. In terms of the night features, this is very important for those who engage in criminality at the border environment because they think we can't see you. The 4N specifically is deliberately designed for night operations. It has what they call starlight night vision, zoom, thermal cameras, and full laser ranging capabilities. The starlight camera allows it to operate in lighting conditions as low as 0.0001 lux, delivering unparalleled performance in the dark. This device is ideal for night surveys and surveillance. Even more importantly, it's got autonomous pathfinding, which means that it can navigate its own environment, even if there are obstacles in the way. It has object identification and tracking, which means that artificial intelligence is used to program the drone to detect certain objects. In other words, if we are looking for a certain kind of vehicle or a certain kind of group of people, the device is able to actually detect it using artificial intelligence. The speed of this device is also worth highlighting. These drones will fly through the air at 43 kilometers per hour. They are able to track and chase down any fugitive who wishes to flee when they see these devices overhead. So I think, ladies and gentlemen, if you take together those capabilities, you can see it what we mean when we say that by embracing digital transformation, we can overcome the obstacles that we face, not only in the border environment, but actually as government as a whole. Because what you will see over the coming few weeks, over the Easter period, is the use of these devices to run surveillance operations along the borderline and in the port environment that we would never have been able to do, even if we had more human resource capacity in the BMA. We all know that the BMA is short of officials. It is still short in many other regards, but we are going to leapfrog and close the gap now with this technology. The second thing I want to highlight for you is the use of the body cameras. There are 40 of these body cameras that have been procured now, and they too are going to be an invaluable resource. I think in the demonstration later, you will be able to see that for the very first time, the BMA can now see what is happening in the personal exchange at the port environment. In other words, if there is an official who needs to stamp a passport, if there is someone who is coming through the port environment, and of course, if someone is trying to solicit a bribe or engaging in other kind of corrupt activity, the BMA Operational Center will be able to see exactly what is going on in that environment. We have seen the impact of these devices in other countries. Body cameras have been used very successfully to reduce corruption and increase efficiency as well in many jurisdictions around the world. And the BMA is now moving on to the cutting edge of using this technology to make sure that we are actually able to optimize the operations in the port environment, but also, of course, to combat corruptions. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a first. We have never seen anything like this in South Africa. We have certainly never seen anything like this in the border environment. And if I look at what we were able to achieve in December in terms of deterrence and detection and increasing efficiency of the BMA, I am firmly of the view that we will look back at the first launch of these devices one day as a key step forward in securing South Africa's borders, in improving the border management environment, and making sure that we move up to the cutting edge of border management in this country. And I think the message has to also be very clear to anyone who thinks about coming illegally into South Africa. For the first time ever, we will see you. We will see you in the daytime. We will see you in the nighttime. We will see you hiding behind a tree. We will see you driving away in a vehicle. We will see you crossing a river. We will see you trying to get through a fence, and we will catch you. We have eyes in the sky 24/7, and your own body heat is going to give you away. There's nowhere to hide. There's nowhere to run. The BMA is an institution that is a source of pride for South Africa. It is making progress at a speed that this country should be very proud of. It is 2 years old, and it is deploying technology, it is improving systems, and it is clamping down on corruption at a scale that we've never seen before in the border management environment. This is not the last such briefing that we will have, ladies and gentlemen, because the BMA is in the process of further enhancing its technological capabilities. There are further tools on the way. There are speedboats on the way. There are more devices on the way. And we are going to make sure that this entity becomes a source of pride for every South African. We want you to know that when you cross into a port of entry as a South African and you see the BMA uniform, you see the BMA banner, you see the BMA body camera, the BMA drone, that this is your government working for you. This is the GNU delivering the change that the people voted for last year. And I cannot be prouder of the speed at which we are making this progress. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Minister, for those remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome the Commissioner of the Border Management Authority, Dr. Michael Masiapato, to come and read the media statement for the Easter operations.
The Honorable Minister of the Department of Home Affairs, who is also the chairperson of the Interministerial Committee on Border Management, Dr. Leon Schreiber, the Deputy Commissioner for Corporate Services, Madam Jane Tupana, the Deputy Commissioner for Operations, Major General David Chilembe, retired, the Assistant Commissioners, as well as the Deputy Assistant Commissioners present in this assembly, the members of AMSCO, of course our key partner together with Exxon, who are present here in this conversation, the entire border management community, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Yes, indeed, we are going to start with another operations as the Border Management Authority, and this time around is the Easter festive operations, as it were. And of course, this is the plan that we are presenting, demonstrating the work that we are going to be doing during the Easter weekend, as it were. Now, the Border Management Authority presence, or the Border Management Authority's presence at all ports of entry has seen a viable, or what you will call visible, effective, as well as meticulous processing of the movement of goods and people. The border management has also transformed into the border environment has also transformed into a complex ecosystem that demand agile, intelligence-driven response, seamless interagency cooperation, and cutting-edge technological intervention. As the Easter holiday approach, the BMA is working around the clock to prepare to ensure the safe, secure, as well as the efficient movement of people and goods across our ports of entry. So once again, I am honored to present the BMA Comprehensive Operational Plan for the 2025 Easter season. This Easter plan is supported by various law enforcement structures in the country, such as the South African Police Service, the South African Revenue Service, the South African National Defence Force, the Cross-Border Road Transport Agency, the Road Traffic Management Corporation, and various traffic authorities in the respective provinces. I would like to appreciate a special collaboration that we have been able to forge between the Border Management Authority and the newly, I would say, established Department of Land Reform and Rural Development, particularly around the issues of the utilization of the drones that the Minister had spoken about. So on the 1st of April 2025, the BMA proudly celebrated its second anniversary since its official establishment on the 1st of April 2023, marking 2 years of dedicated service in securing South African borders and facilitating legitimate movement across our ports of entry and the border law enforcement area. The establishment of the BMA, as it is fairly known, actually came as a result of the transfer of border law enforcement functions and officials from key government departments, such as those of the Department of Home Affairs, the Department of Health, the Department of Forestry, Fisheries, and the Environment, together with those from the Department of Agriculture, Land Reform, and Rural Development. All of this has been done towards the establishment of a single integrated authority mandated to secure and manage South African borders. As the third national armed service of the Republic, the officials have the responsibility to facilitate immigration matters, port health issues, environmental issues, agricultural biosecurity services, including access control as well as general law enforcement functions at the port of entry as well as the border law enforcement area. The BMA's leadership and staff continue to enjoy a high-pressured operational environment where vigilance and rapid response are not just priorities, but non-negotiable. We are here to serve the citizens of the country to deter any illegality at the ports of entry as well as the border law enforcement area without fear or favor. The Easter period is traditionally characterized by a significant spike in the movement of people and goods across our port, therefore placing significant demand on the BMA to maintain optimal operational readiness. During this period, families travel for religious observances, they travel for holidays and also for cultural gatherings, while traders and transporters increase activity in preparation for the long Easter weekend. With the expected increase in attendance from the Zionist Christian Church in Limpopo, more travelers are also expected to move from our neighboring countries into South Africa. These heightened activities bring both opportunities and risks, requiring a concerted and integrated operational response. The 2025 Easter operations follows a successful implementation of the 2024-2025 festive season plan, which saw a steady increase of 5,084,251 travelers processed across our 71 ports of entry. This plan builds on the successes and the lessons learned from our previous operations, ensuring the advancement of robust mechanisms for safe as well as secure travel. Through the assistance of drone technology, our previous deployments, especially during the December and January operations, responsive as well as reactional to illegal movements, as it were. This in the festive season movement prompted the BMA to officially begin with the Easter festive plan since the 1st of February 2025 through to the 14th of April 2025. Part of the planning phase include conducting situational analysis at the ports of entry as well as at the regional level for the purposes of specific needs of each port. Working together with the Department of Public Works and Infrastructure, we continue to improve critical infrastructure at the selected port. In this regard, we will be deploying additional equipment such as water tankers, generators, additional ablution facilities, as well as other critical utilities from the 15th to the 24th of April in 2025. The execution phase of the BMA Easter operational plan will run for a period of 10 days. It will start from the 15th of April 2025 to the 24th of April 2025, during which deployment and intensified border operations will be heightened. The execution phase consists of both the exit as well as the return leg, and of course of the cross-border travel, during which the BMA will then intensify its operational activities. In this period, there will be focused deployments, there will be intensified security measures, there will be increased processing capacity, as well as streamlined border checks. All this will be done in order to ensure the smooth and the secure passage for all travelers while maintaining vigilance against illegal activities. The departure peak of this year's Easter festive is anticipated to be on Thursday, the 17th of April 2025, while the return surge is expected between Sunday, the 20th, as well as Monday, the 21st of April 2025. Travelers and stakeholders are advised to take note of these key dates so that they can proactively plan their early travel to assist in easing congestion on the corridors leading to the ports of entry. Possession of valid travel documents, adherence to all border management laws, as well as cooperating with officials will ensure a smooth as well as more efficient processing of all travelers. Last year's Easter period recorded a sharp rise in traveler volumes. In the period of 10 days last year, between the 26th of March 2024 to the 4th of April 2024, the BMA registered a total of over 1,136,250 movements, which was a significant increase of 24.3% when compared to the 913,859,000 movement recorded during the 2023 festive period. Therefore, in this Easter period, we expect a further increase in traveler volumes, as the trend has been very much visible. Following the conclusion of the execution plan, we will proceed to do the demobilization phase, which will run from the 25th of April 2025. This phase will be focused on scaling down operations, but also conducting post-operational assessment. The assessment and the operations post this Easter period will continue until the next peak, which is expected, and among those will be the highest level of the number of people that will be expected coming through into the country for the first ever G20 summit that is to be held in the continent and in the country for the first time. And of course, that will also lead into the preparations for the 2025 December as well as January 2026 festive operations. Now, as a practice, even this time around, in this Easter period, we engaged with our counterparts, effectively our neighboring countries. Here we talk about Lesotho, we talk about Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Eswatini, Namibia, as well as Botswana. We have agreed to extend some operating hours at certain critical ports, which are effectively operating on a 24-hour basis. As a result, the chairperson of the Interministerial Consultative Committee on Border Management, who is also the Minister of Home Affairs, Dr. Schreiber, had approved our request to extend these operating hours at the selected port of entry. So on that particular basis, we want to just quickly reflect on those particular shifts in terms of operating hours, and this is very much critical for the travelers as well as those that are intending to either exit or enter the country. The first ones to indicate are the two ports, which are actually ports between South Africa and Botswana. The first one we want to reflect is a port called Schreiber Bridge, port of entry, that is from South Africa into Botswana. The normal operating hours there is between 6 and 10. So we effectively close at 10 under normal circumstances. But on the 17th as well as on the 20th of April, we are going to open it for 24 hours. And of course, on the 21st of April, we will then open it at least until 12 midnight. In terms of the port to Mozambique, which is Kosi Bay Port of Entry, which is situated in the KwaZulu-Natal area, the normal operating hours there is between 8 in the morning and 5 in the afternoon, and we will just extend there by starting 2 hours earlier at 6, and therefore we are going to close at 6 in the evening. In other words, 1800 hours, and that is going to be on the 17th until the 23rd of April 2025. When it comes to the 3 ports to Eswatini, the first one we want to reflect on is Mahamba Port of Entry. It operates between 7 and 10 under normal circumstances. We are going to close it at 12 midnight. That is on the 17th of April. But as for on the 20th, we are going to close it at 10 instead of it closing. And we then have the second port. Just apologies there. Then the second port is Jibis Reef, also to Eswatini. It operates from 7 and it closes at 8 in the evening, and we are then going to close it 2 hours later at 10, and that is on the 17th as well as the 20th of April. Then the second one again is Mananga Port of Entry. It actually opens from 7 and up to 6 in the evening under normal circumstances. We are then going to close at 8 between the 16th and the 17th of April, so that we are actually able to deal with the volumes as it were. Then the last category of the ports are those that are leading to Lesotho. The first one is the one called Sunny Pass Port of Entry. It actually opens at 6 in the morning until 6 in the evening. We are then going to close it on the 16th and the 17th of April. We are going to close at 7 in the evening. When it comes to Caledon Port, also to Lesotho, it opens between 6 and 10. We are going to open it for 24 hours on the 17th of April 2025. And of course, when it comes to the 21st of April 2025, we are going to close it at 12 midnight. In terms of Van Rooyen's Gate, also going into Lesotho, under normal circumstances, it opens from 6 until 10 in the evening. We are then going to open it for 24 hours on the 17th of April. And again, when it comes to the 21st of April, we are going to close at midnight. That is around 12 hours. When it comes to Mononta Pass, again also going to Lesotho, it opens between 8 in the morning until 4 in the evening or in the afternoon. We are then going to close it at 1800 hours in the evening. That is on the 17th as well as the 21st of April 2025. When it comes to Peka Bridge, also to Lesotho, it opens from 8 until 4. We are then going to close it at 6 in the afternoon, and that is on the 17th as well as the 21st of April 2025. And of course, the last one is Tasha's Neck, also to Lesotho. It opens at 7 in the morning until 8 in the evening under normal circumstances. We are then going to close it at 10 on the 15th as well as the 17th of April. So these are the extensions that has been effected on these particular dates. And of course, this has been done in collaboration with our immediate neighbors. And of course, they had actually agreed for that reciprocity to make sure that we are able to facilitate the volumes that are expected. As a demonstration of our operational readiness, the BMA will increase deployment in all ports, especially in the eve of Easter, with high visibility personnel as well as our rapid response teams. To this end, all BMA senior and executive managers will be deployed to critical ports between the 15th and the 24th of April 2025. This includes, in particular, Limbombo Port of Entry to Mozambique, Beitbridge Port of Entry into Zimbabwe, and Groblersdal Bridge Port of Entry into Botswana, Kofontein into Botswana, OR Tambo International Airport, Cape Town International Airport, Oshuk Port of Entry into Eswatini, Fixbeck, as well as Maseru Bridge Ports of Entry to Lesotho. There will be those additional deployments from the leadership to make sure that the team on the ground is supported. Now, coming to issues relating to immigration, The BMA will intensify its efforts across several critical focus areas to ensure secure as well as efficient border operations. This includes the detection of undocumented travelers, strengthening access control measures at all ports, but also taking firm action against corruption. ICT support teams from the BMA, together with those coming from SARS as well as the Department of Home Affairs, will ensure smooth operations on the movement control system to capture travelers coming in and out of South Africa. Travelers are expected to present themselves at the designated port of entry and not use the borderline to enter or exit the Republic illegally. Our ports of entry are national key points, so unauthorized movement or visitation by individuals or organizations will not be permitted unless prior permission is sought and communicated to the Port Management Committee for approval. When coming to port health-related matters, the BMA health specialists will continue with the screening of travelers across all ports of entry to detect various infectious and/or communicable diseases. Travelers arriving from yellow fever endemic areas are required to have in their possession valid yellow fever certificates. Furthermore, conveyancers from yellow fever as well as malaria endemic areas must also ensure that their transport coming into South Africa are accordingly disinfected. As the BMA would like to urge travelers who present signs of illness to present themselves or report to the health facilities at the port of entry and to the BMA port health specialist on their arrival at the port of entry, or else they must visit their nearest health facilities or consult their private doctors for consultation. Those carrying health-related goods such as your food, your medicine, hazardous substances, or cosmetics must ensure that they declare them on arrival. We remind travelers transporting human remains, including ashes, that they must be in possession of import as well as export permit issued by the National Department of Health. When it comes to agricultural as well as environmental biosecurity matters, the importation of plants and/or animals, including their related products, is highly regulated and requires the certification as well as permits issued by the relevant government departments for presentation at the port of entry, such as your veterinary permits as well as phytosanitary certification. However, should there be anyone to disregard this law, will face a fine of up to 20,000 rand or imprisonment. Travelers are also urged to take caution on their luggage in order to ensure that they do not unconsciously introduce invasive species into the country. When it comes to general border law enforcement functions, the authority, in collaboration with other traffic authorities, will enhance corridor management to monitor the movement along the key travel routes, but also to implement robust traffic control as well as safety measures to support the smooth flow of people as well as goods during this high traffic period. As the BMA, we also take note that South Africa has the honor of hosting the G20 summit, and this will call for enhanced border management and security with seamless coordination across all ports of entry, as well as working with the rest of the government ecosystem. This is to uphold the country's global reputation and ensure the safe movement of international delegates and travelers. As we approach these busy periods on our national calendar, it is critical that we reaffirm our commitment to ensuring well-managed movement in all ports of entry. In conclusion, the BMA is firmly bound by the principles of integrity, operational excellence, as well as accountability. We do not take lightly our responsibility to protect the sovereignty of our borders and ensure the legitimate movement of people and goods across our ports of entry as well as the border law enforcement area. We would like to issue a stern warning to travelers and all officials who do not, for not to get involved in any kind of illegal activities, as they will be caught and harshly punished. This Easter, we ask the cooperation of all travelers as well as all stakeholders to adhere to the laws of the Republic and assist our personnel in performing their duties effectively. We continue to urge the public to assist us in reporting any suspicious activities, illegal or otherwise, corruption or otherwise, by calling our toll-free number under Operation Itibise, which is 0801 229 019. But again, citizens can also report any kind of activity that is outside the principle of ethics at the website www.bma.gov.za. Let us all work together to ensure safe, efficient, and secure Easter period for all who shall be crossing our ports of entry in this particular period. Thank you very much.